Yes, hello. Welcome to Please Won't You Shut Up? Shut up, dog. Shut up!
She's been so quiet.
I know. She's
This episode. Although it just started.
It's true. I am Mikki.
I'm Blake.
And I am Brent.
Your
And
puppy. Oh.
You old puppy.
Okay, down. We're recording.
And welcome to the show that is mostly about Star Trek and drag queens.
Yay!
Since you finally saw, we'll get
No,
to
I
these
like
in
that we're just
order.
going to get into
Yeah,
it right
we're
in
just
order,
going to get to it because
Yeah.
I know you want to really talk about drag queens, but first comes Star Trek, then drag queens.
No, I have a lot of feelings on Star Trek.
So
Okay.
yeah, you finally saw the series season finale.
Season finale, yeah.
Thoughts?
Oh, so many. Okay, so first of all, giant Star Trek person. Like, Star Trek, all the Star Trek, all the time. Love it. We've gone on before about how I just want to go forward and know what happens next. That I'm so sick of all this, like, constant, like, redoing the same time period.
To a prequel.
So, so I'm getting that, in a way, which is great. Uncharted territory is always fun. Not having to, like, worry about all the canon shit anymore. Like, you're post-canon. You're the new frontier.
You can do lots.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
But mainly, I found Season 2 did two things for me. It endeared the main core of characters that went to the future.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. But, you know, they're going 950 years into the future now. If you haven't seen it, you shouldn't be listening to this.
Yay.
Yeah, you're on the internet and you haven't seen the season finale of Discovery, like, fuck off. Go do that right now.
Why are you listening to a Star Trek
It's not
podcast?
the morning after Game of Thrones. Like, come on. Like, no, just...
Even if it's the morning after Game of Thrones, all bets are off.
Unfortunately. But
Yeah.
that one
You should be
I'm more
avoiding
sensitive
it.
to.
Exactly. You have to
I am more
activate.
sensitive to that, though, sure. But no, so I'm very excited that they're going into the future and that this core group of characters are, because this season made me enjoy this core group of characters a lot more and enjoy seeing them riff off each other a lot, and that's always been the core of Star Trek to me. And they haven't had that.
Yeah.
It's been like Michael Burnham, who you still barely know but seems to do everything twice, is now doing this shit. And also, like, Sarek's, I don't know, her dad, and also twin and mentor and space thing, and like, alright. Fine. But now you're getting a bit more of the rest of them.
It's the truest form of going to a place that they have never been ever before. Like,
Oh,
it's,
in
it's
terms of,
the
yes.
furthest.
Yeah.
It's further than Q pushing you really far away.
And this is why...
Like, it's just out of your concept.
And this is why I'm happy about that.
format,
Cleaning up all the extraneous nonsense at the outskirts. Because the other thing this season did was confuse me. I don't remember a lot of the plot points. I just generally got kind of
Yeah.
lost. And that doesn't usually happen to me with Trek.
And like, I think it was because Star Trek has never done before a long-term, like, quest storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they were doing. Like, they're
Which I was super
questing.
down for.
Yeah.
I was.
But
But
it just
also, like, I
kinda
didn't
doesn't
care
work.
enough about the places and people and shit yet. Like,
Yeah. It was almost like a Star Wars-y kind of thing where, like, aside from the time travel, which apparently is now in Star Wars anyway, it's like it's taking a fantasy element and putting it in a sci-fi element, and that usually doesn't work.
what, time
well.
travel?
No, the quest.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think having a quest is necessarily...
Well, no,
has
like
to be particular to fantasy. I think it works just as
like
well in
the
science fiction.
the segment of it. It was like having a Red Angel and having to go to different areas and like solve that's so Arthurian.
I was fine with all that, but on some level, I still didn't really care.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I just
Fair.
didn't engage with the show.
Okay.
Like, the people hadn't got me yet, and I don't care enough about the ship. I don't care enough. I don't care. I don't care because it's not where I want to be. Like, it's not fresh and new. It's the time period before. Oh, great. So no major changes can happen. Earth can't be in dire peril ever because you're coming before all that. Like, God, who cares then? No. Give me some stakes. Like, this is good. Clean up the storyline. Set us so far in the future that we know nothing about it, I think.
And you can also look at ancestry of the universe that we know.
What
Like,
do you mean?
like generations past of Picards, or Riker, or...
You're obsessed with Picard. The
Come
show-
on.
It's
Well,
950
Picard.
years later, though. Like, that's a long time to keep...
Well, no, it's
I
not
suppose
like
there's-
50 years from us right
I suppose
now.
so. There's technology to track things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it would be interesting just to be like, oh yeah, do you remember the Cardassians? No. We don't know, because they have
Oh,
like
they've like
dwindled.
interbreeded with the Bajorans and
Or like they've
everything.
dwindled into almost nothingness after a war that like that's what
that
I'm
would
interested
be
in,
interesting
like,
if
the throwaways
Yeah.
and the
Oh yeah, people just reading up on shit like, oh hey, look at what happened to this. Like, oh my
Yeah.
god, like I can't wait for them to show that, and then that'll give them an avenue to eventually show us that.
and like go back to a world that's in ruins that is actually from an episode that you're like,
That's yes.
Like you could just
it's great. Like it's 950 years in the future. Like God knows what's happening to the places we care about.
Yeah.
They could casual throwaways. Like this ruined planet. Like what was it called? Oh Bajor. Oh shit. Like what? Like
And
we fresh, new, excited.
Yes.
We do though have a hint, and it was from before this season.
What was that name?
Do you remember Calypso?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Calypso was one of the
Oh
shorts.
yes.
Yeah, and it was an empty ship
It was an
with
empty
an
ship.
AI for some reason in the
Yes.
future, the
Yes.
exact same time.
Yes.
Yeah, so we now know Calypso occurs after the season 2 finale.
And they may just be off the ship for a little while during that now. Like it's
who,
not like
who knows why it's
we
there,
initially thought it was like stranded there for how long did she say she'd been alone?
Oh, I forgot. That's the thing. Like a long goddamn time.
Okay,
Like
so
something happens and the ship is alone after it develops an AI
that's weird.
or it is installed with
That's
one.
weird. But the show's called Discovery, so they can't really like abandon ship and then it's like now the Discovery crew on a planet for 2 more seasons. It's like no.
Like you can have them trying to get back to the Discovery. If
Yeah,
something
but, like,
happened,
it-
but
no.
you can only do that for like half a season. That
Exactly.
gets tiring.
I'm excited by the possibilities. What do we know about this time period? Anything?
Aside from the fact that there was an active federation in some sort and a temporal bureau.
This is Daniel's era.
Yeah, this is
Same
Daniel's
time as
era.
Daniel's. That's
So-
exciting.
If it is still accurate to that, then there is a USS Enterprise J about
Oh,
flying
that wide
about.
thing.
Yeah, that enormous. It was miles
It's
in
the
diameter.
pizza cutter Enterprise.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
Like it's the rollerblade. Like
it really is super thin.
Yeah.
It makes no sense for a space because I swear that's one deck thick, almost to just be like, yeah, fuck you. It takes a lot of energy to move this through the universe.
I won't
Deal
deal
No,
with
but
it.
it's so wide that it's like 3 decks thick even, and it's fucking monstrous. Like isn't it 3 miles wide? You
Yeah.
said?
So like, imagine turbo lifting at a speed that is still safe for humans from one end of the ship to another because someone like called you. Oh, we need you in engineering. You have to get.
just let me orbit there.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna like swing around.
They probably just teleport you. I mean, seriously, at that point, it should just be like a. No.
Everyone probably wears a personal transport device.
Yeah.
That would be fucking
It's
awesome.
the
Or that's what I
Kmart.
want
It's
now.
the Kmart like vacuum tubes. You just step.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do the Jetsons have people in those kind of tubes? I picture that in some cartoon.
You picture it in Futurama. They
Was
probably
that? Okay.
was.
There was
Jetsons,
up and
but-
down in Jetsons, but never like sideways and like crazy. It was like you just walked into it and you went up.
Yeah, it was the most basic concept of it because they were actually like, well, how would it's like
And then
personal
they have like an
element.
elevation button that the Jetsons like. It would just be like, oh, we created a lot of smog.
That- yeah.
We'll just go a little bit higher.
That was from Harvey Birdman, where they found themselves. They show up in the year 2003, and they're like, "We're from the future, 1997. Listen to me."
Harvey Birdman. I haven't thought of that in a
So
while.
good.
That's a great fucking show.
And if I recall, they sued the government or something because of the environmental disaster of the smog combined with global warming meant they couldn't escape disaster with their moving houses. If you got too high, you ended up in smog. If you were too low, you got drowned and eaten by like fish people.
That's hilarious. If we're transitioning into Jetsons level science fiction,
Yeah.
unless you have any more thoughts
No,
on
no,
Discovery,
I'm good.
are you generally excited for a clean new start as well? Or
I am so excited to see where they can go. I hope they don't fuck it up.
yeah, but it's exciting,
It is.
and that's what they needed.
I have no idea.
That's what I fucking needed because I'm bored.
No clue.
That's it. I'm bored because there's no stakes.
Which is funny because you're enjoying the Orville, which is
I fucking
a
love the Orville. That's where I was
rehash.
trying to segue
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, when I say rehash, I don't mean that in an offensive way. It is TNG.
Yes, it's a remake
It's
of
the
TNG.
same thing.
But that's the thing. It's a reimagining of TNG, just like Battlestar. The newer Battlestar was a reimagining of a show that I cannot abide watching because I'm sorry, it's just too much of a time. It's like watching the original series of Star Trek. I'm like, most episodes are too much of a time. There's some good ones.
There's a
Edith
lot.
Keeler kicks around for a minute, and that's the one worth watching. But other than that, it's tough. But no, it's really fun and well done. Like, no, I am definitely more emotionally invested in the Orville than I am in Discovery, which I did not expect to happen at all. Because I am severely diehard Trek, and
They're just
the
so
Orville's just so perfectly Trek.
Yeah,
It's perfectly that era of Trek that I want and that I love. Like,
and apparently, I haven't seen the trailer for the season finale except for like a tiny clip, and it looks like they had a massive like Borg-esque invasion earlier in the season, and I thought that looked great. This looks better.
yeah,
Whatever's
that did
going
look
on.
great. That space battle looked fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everything about you look at it at first and you're like, this seems so cheap and rip off design and everything, but the more you experience it, the more you see the logic in why they design things this way, why it looks so cheesy, why the practical use they get out of the cheese.
I also really enjoy the veracity of the Klingons.
Yes.
And how they enter a fucking like area. There's like, no, we're gonna show up in like the biggest space Escalade and just be like,
oh yeah, that
like
I forgot about that.
I love
there's
it.
like,
No one had ever mentioned this thing before, and just
That was
you're like,
great.
what
Hello.
the fuck is that?
It is a space Escalade. That's exactly perfect.
Oh god, yeah, it's like being in traffic and a fucking Titan rolls up next to you.
yeah,
and you're like,
it's like, oh well, you have a cooler and like 3 zones for different temperatures.
That space battle I didn't enjoy nearly as much. Because it was very Battlestar-esque with tons of tiny little fighters all of a sudden. I was like, why?
like it made sense, but it was also like, oh, this is a budget thing. You always wanted there to, like a producer here, always wanted there to be fighters in Star Trek, and it's not interesting enough. And it's like, there always were fighters, it's just, it's expensive to make fighter footage.
Yeah, and it's not fun. No, it's been done to death. Like, BSG did it way better.
Yeah.
So just stop.
And yeah, like, either you're going to end up with BSG or you're going to end up with Star Wars. Why do you need either of those in Star Trek?
Yeah.
We're used
Or
to
The
capital
Orville
ships
Space
going,
Battle had no fucking little fighters that I recall. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
That was great.
Or tailor it to the conflict.
Yes.
Like, and it made sense because it was an AI. Like,
yeah, exactly. So a
Like, it
swarm did
makes
work.
sense because you would want to use a machine more than any human thing. Like,
Yeah, but it was weird because then the AI had prepared a bunch of like crazy fighters all of a sudden, and it's like, okay, like I guess everybody's going fighters, but somehow in the continuity, in the canon, we never have fighters in the future. What the hell? Like, oh, fuck off.
but it's on an intelligent ship that is like probably souped up.
Yeah, well,
Like,
exactly.
it
In the
makes
in
sense.
the context, it works. I hope they don't start introducing fighters into every space battle that they have in some aspect. But like, there were fighters in the TNG era. You just didn't see them because they were expensive to produce. Proto Tom Paris and as such Wesley, Red Squadron, all those fuckers. Those flew fighters. There were fighters used in the Dominion War.
Yeah.
They had fighters. It's just that was one of the most expensive effects to shoot because people expected like Star Wars level fighters. And the
budget you have for certain syndicated television
exactly
is not there.
And your crew is used to space naval combat, not space aerial combat, and you don't know how to shoot everything to look right. So they never fucking bothered.
I want to nitpick at Discovery a little more.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, I'm not over it.
Oh.
So Christopher Pike was great.
Yeah.
Rebecca Romaine showed up for like the most minor role I've ever seen.
That was unexpected.
Yeah, and then Spock came, and we got used to Spock, and then Spock having a beard was supposed to be a thing we cared about, and then Spock suddenly shaved off his beard and looked way more bland, and then now we're not going to see those characters at all anymore.
Or maybe we will. Because,
Or you're going to make another
totally could.
continuing show where it's in that timeline and we're still surrounded by a clusterfuck of canon bullshit, and I still have to get exasperated every episode.
But at least then it would be.
There was a
here's
time when
A
Pike
and B.
stepped away from the Enterprise, and I think it was right when Rebecca Romaine character. Is there one in previous canon like
only in the
similar
pilot,
to
only in the pilot with him.
Okay.
Yeah, she's number one is a character that until this only existed in the pilot. She doesn't even have a name. It's number one.
So what happens in the new show? Do we get rid of her immediately and have what's his name there? What is his name there?
I can't.
Tiberius Kirk.
James?
And have Kirk right away? Or do we have number one for a while and no Kirk, and then we're just waiting around for Kirk to come along?
Or her
knowing that the Earth will be fine, the Enterprise will be fine, everyone will still be okay.
Yeah,
except
there's
Pike
a
will get
few
reformed.
years there that
But
they
there's
can
a lot
play
of
with.
swapping of captains of ships back and forth at
Yeah,
this
but what I'm
time
saying
as well.
is there's no high stakes. Everyone's eventually going to be fine. Like, we know that because it's happening even closer to established canon.
Yeah,
But the
It
mirror
bores me.
But the mirror universe was also hidden. Like all of these things happened. Right
Yeah, but I'm saying
underneath.
there's no real threat. Like, all the main characters...
You
or
knock
most
on
of
wood.
them,
You knock on wood.
No, like Christopher Pike, number one, you've seen them in at least the pilot.
well,
you know
yeah,
that they're there.
You know
they're
what
still...
happens to Pike. Specifically, he will get critically burned by radiation and crippled.
Yeah.
He will
But
end
we
up
know
in
that.
the chair.
He knows that.
Yeah. You know, so that has to happen. In some sense, I kind of like the way that the new movies handled that, where they were just like, yeah, he's in the chair, but like, you know, it's just because he got hurt in the war. He's not all like, rah,
Yeah, that was
beep,
a
beep,
lot.
beep, 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 you know.
Yeah, that was a lot, especially for someone as pretty as Anson Mount. Like, oh, Anson Mount, handsomest man who's not in this room. Good save. Good save.
He does kind of have the head shape, though.
Oh, that's nice. You do.
Salt and pepper him, and you've got a Halloween
Have you
costume.
seen your beard? It's getting there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't have anything more to say about Orville either, except that I fucking love it this year.
Looking forward to tomorrow.
No, Orville,
Yeah, it's been
Orville
great.
had the quintessential Riker Thomas episode where
Oh, they did.
first officer got split
Yeah,
into two,
yeah.
and it's like,
Oh,
oh my
yeah.
god,
That's
here-
what the continuation is this week, yeah.
I wanted Deanna Troy to walk in on two of her and just be like, wait a second.
I always
Yeah.
say that I don't have more to say on this, and then you always... You triggered me. Oh my god, I have so much more to say. What I think this episode is about coming up, is like, that's all flashbacks to stuff they've done in the last season. Because all of that stuff is now not going to have happened, so everything in the future is going to be super shit, and they have to figure out why, and they're like, oh my god, Kelly, like, that, we have vague memories, like one of those TNG episodes where they're like, weird, we have strange memories, and it's not supposed to be this way. Oh my god, the Orville could bring a Guinan on board somehow.
Oh,
They don't have a Guinan character.
Oh,
They
they're not.
They could bring
only
fucking
they'll
Guinan
bring
on board!
Fucking literal Guinan.
Oh my god.
They'll
Whoopi
never
would
say
love
her
that
name.
on.
Whoopi would.
She's like, can I
Yeah.
at least have my windows on a 45-degree angle?
Oh my god, she
I
totally
prefer the
would.
lighted.
Oh
She
my
totally
God.
would.
Oh
She'd
my
play
God.
Guinan.
They
She'd
would
be great.
rebuild the entire original set in the
10-4.
perfectly of 10-4.
10 now.
So like you'd be walking in the Orville hallway, turn a corner into the room, and the lighting would change, the material would change,
They would comment on it.
the uniforms.
Definitely,
would
they would
change.
call
The
it.
Oh,
only
my God.
insignia would be the
Yeah.
No, it's just a holodeck program. It's a holodeck program that one of them is a fan of
No,
TNG
wait,
made,
yeah,
and it has
so
Guinan in
it's
it.
literally
Oh my
Guinan.
god, it's literally Guinan, but she's a hologram.
It's Mercer himself being like, I always loved this, and that's why I went into the
Oh,
Union.
I love this. Please let this happen. I'll be so excited.
Seth,
Whoopi will fix everything.
Seth,
Oh,
hear
that's
us.
so good.
Hear us.
Oh, if we predicted this,
Oh
with
my god, that
Which
the
would be
way
awesome.
That's
with the way
great.
that he does his animation, I wouldn't be. He likes to jump a ship into a brand new world
Yeah, well, it's
like
true.
that, and I'm okay with it. I trust him.
Well, that,
Like I actually trust it. Like if he wanted to be like, all right, let's go back with Picard now, I would say okay.
you are
You would say
obsessed
that
with Picard.
anyway.
Oh my god, you cannot stop talking about Picard or the new show or anything about Picard. It's
Because he's
hilarious.
getting to an age that I want to see him before he gets too old.
You're afraid he's going to George R. R. Martin us. He's going to die before.
Yes.
Well, starting the project in this case, let alone not
don't
finishing.
say George R. R. Martin until George R. R. Martin has George R. R. Martin.
Don't say it 3 times.
Shit!
He'll appear and then collapse immediately.
Collapse. Not give me Winds of Winter.
Oh my god.
Fuck's sake.
I'm not even sure how much I care anymore.
I do.
Yeah,
I need it.
know.
I read through all of Dune, and only at the end of what was available found out that, oh, there was supposed to be like 6 more books, and all of this was plotted, and he never got to write it because he died.
I
But
hate
all
that
those
shit.
questions,
That's too many
Fuck
books in a
off.
series. That is too many books in a series. Stop it at like 5.
especially when you're like
And don't write a
60,000
book
years into a
before it.
story.
Yeah, don't
No, don't prequel it.
Oh, before you're done? No, fuck you. No,
If
you
you're
have to
getting
finish
close
first,
to
and
an
then you
age-
can prequel it if you must. Then you can have supplement materials. That's fine. I'm a dork too. I get it. I
Or
like
do it
that
in
shit.
smaller stints. 'cause
But
you're
once
getting
your main
older and you
story's
wanna
done
make sure,
and ended at like 5 books, probably. Yeah. Oh
yet
god,
then
like who's
I
that
love-
guy Robert Jordan? He's like, I'll have like 14 novels under my belt, still not be dead, and then die,
Yeah.
and then no one cares because it got boring way before that anyway. But no, not down with that.
Speaking of things that no one gives a shit about, James Cameron's still making Avatar movies.
Never saw the original.
Don't.
Yeah, no interest.
It was only interesting in its immediate release vicinity for audiences who have never seen a big budget blockbuster high definition graphic film. By now, we've all seen this shit, so it doesn't matter anymore.
It was a big 3D one, too.
It was essentially... Yeah, it brought back 3D.
Okay, here's the thing. I fucking hate 3D. I hate it. It's awful. It hurts my eyes. I've never sat through more than 10 minutes of a 3D movie.
It doesn't bother me.
It bothers me terribly.
If I'm going to go see... tomorrow night, I've got tickets for Endgame. I will see that in 3D, because I'm going to see stuff that fucking zany in 3D. In the last movie, a man went like this, he crushed his hand, and a moon behind him imploded, and then he threw the moon at a guy in a super suit. I'm gonna see that in 3D, because that's going to be fucking stupid in 3D. I'm not going to watch, other stuff, or, historical dramas or comedies in 3D.
I would totally watch a historical drama in 3D.
Oh my god.
Because there'd be so little 3D. Great. Nope, not down with that.
Okay. It's just Little Women, but in 3D. It's like, we have to pick random things. So that teacup is in 3D.
So is he making Avatar 2?
Avatar 2,
Electric
3,
Blue
4,
Boogaloo?
5, and 6. Oh. All at once. Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute. And 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6
This is what
once.
he has been doing since Avatar 1.
Why has there been no publicity about this? Has there been publicity?
No, there has been. But do you recall when Avatar 1 was?
No.
Like
As I said, I did not see
ago.
it.
And that's all he's been doing. So, there's a lot of publicity, but it's only... No one cares anymore. No one cares. So it went from excitement to... Okay, this is still going.
To sure you are, James.
Yeah,
sure.
to sure you are. To really?
So when is all this shit coming out?
So this is... So
It's not
Avatar
that it matters. I
is
still haven't seen the first one,
Yeah.
so I don't really care.
It says, okay!
This does sound
And
like
that's
a
the
grand
funny
disaster.
thing. It's he's so confident in this, and apparently doesn't want to listen to anyone say no one cares. Is that he's created an unsinkable ship that will go.
Wow. Yeah. I can't imagine why anyone would be that interested. I honestly can't. And I live in a world where people watch Too Fast, Too Furious 14?
Yeah. The new one is 9 or 10.
Yeah, that's too many.
And it looks amazing. Idris Elba's in it.
It's a disaster movie of a different kind, and I do love a good disaster.
Oh, that's the thing. They've transitioned from disaster films into comic book movie now. This new one is Jason Statham and The Rock, and that's it, fighting Idris Elba in a super suit while he commits crimes. That's the fucking movie now. That's Fast and the Furious now.
Fuck does that have to do with cars? Am I thinking of the wrong movies?
No, you're not.
I'm so glad I have not seen a single one of them. I sometimes I regret being such a curmudgeon with pop culture and everything, but not right now. No.
They still have a lot of car stunts, but no, it's not about cars.
Oh god, that's ridiculous.
It hasn't been about cars since 3.
My favorite action thing is the transporter.
Oh, I love
because it's kind of Bond but kind of Chav at the same time.
It's such garbage. I hated it so much.
It's so disposable, but it's so well refined.
I like the garbage version of Transporter, which is
Transporter.
No, Crank.
Yes.
Crank It 1 and 2
Yep.
are the Transporter if we just gave it a lot of speed.
Yeah.
And had no eye for attempting
took
Bond.
a car battery with the 2 bits and you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
Ah!
Oh, you want to be elegant? That's Crank.
This sounds terrible.
No, it is. What is a video game as a movie? It's the exact same cast as Transporter, but if you gave them all really cheap but powerful speed, and then made a movie out of the result. Where they had to get through stuff.
It's a Memento.
That sounds terrible.
It's great.
It's like Memento in the way that it feels like a movie.
But it's also like Looney Tunes in the way it feels like Looney Tunes.
This just sounds demented at this point.
It is. No, it is. It is. Partially
The very first one ends with a fist fight falling from a helicopter onto a car. The fight is falling from the helicopter that they found fighting. And they fight each other on the way down.
No, it's not.
It's
I
the human
understand
equivalent.
that some people are into this kind of film. And I'm not saying film right now just to be pretentious either, because I realize I already sound pretentious for hating this, but I hate this kind of comedy.
And
this
then it
does
comes
not appeal
back to
me.
life.
This is stupid. No. Oh.
He literally comes back to life because they're like, oops, sequel, adrenaline.
No.
It's the human equivalent to speed.
It's
Like you just,
so-
I can't go below 50 kilometers an hour.
Oh.
Running.
I'm not going to disparage Speed, and you know that, so
Oh.
that movie's great.
Which one? The one when they
Oh,
drive
one.
shit
One.
into the side
God.
of Miami?
Nobody's seen
That one?
Speed 2, Cruise Control, which deserves to have the full name used because it's so bad.
Not within the
So
last 2
bad.
decades anyway.
So bad.
Oh my god. Willem Dafoe, what were you doing?
Speed is fucking great. I love that movie. It was
The
awesome.
premise is fine, but
It was
it's
awesome.
It's like
Awesome.
How long can you watch Keanu Reeves standing over Sandra Bullock's shoulder?
Apparently,
that's the
like,
movie.
Apparently, like, at least 90 minutes. Like, yep. Oh, yeah. Love it. Totally great.
Every
Not
now and
gonna
then he
disparage it
points
all.
at something and she just kind of turns a wheel towards it.
It's amazing.
Dramatic.
It's like Rear Window, but instead it's Front Window.
That's bad.
No.
I just
That's
want like
fantastic
Rosa
film.
Parks to photobomb, just be like, can I get off?
Yes!
Like, can I just?
Oh, why did
Can
that
you stop
happen?
this bus?
Why didn't that happen?
Like,
I
For
take it
your
back. It's a very flawed film.
For your own safety. There's a bomb up front. For your own safety, get to the back of the bus. What the fuck did you just say to me?
Oh, that'd be so good.
or like, if the door's open, and she's like, you know what? I think I'm
Mm.
just gonna walk.
Next, yeah.
Like just
Next
like
time,
Rosa
thank
turns.
you.
And,
Is the woman that they kill, who like falls from the bus? Is she fucking Sparkle Motion from Donnie Darko? I think she might be.
Sparkle motion.
It's gonna take me a moment to think about that.
Well, I have phrased the question in a particularly like kind of out there way, so it may take you a
I
moment.
think it is. The actual problem is I don't like Donnie Darko, and though I've seen it a few times, I don't like it.
Okay.
So I don't.
I enjoy it, but it's not a movie I can defend easily either because it is bizarre.
I wanted to like it.
I
I
do
tried
enjoy
to
it.
like it. I watched it a bunch of times, and then I read this incredible essay from the guy who wrote it, and discovered that you're an idiot. You think you know something, and you're so committed to that you built this incredible world that is imaginative and brilliant and everything, but it's like you think it's real, or you misunderstand temporal mechanics, and so everything's just slightly off. Just slightly off, and yet everyone thinks it's brilliant. It's just like,
Could be worse.
Oh, yeah.
He could have made it about Dexter and then actually started murdering people.
Yeah.
Not because of Dexter, but because of his own work.
It could be
Which was
worse.
superior.
It could be Batman versus Superman.
Didn't see it, and I love Batman, but
Oh,
couldn't bring
you
myself to
hate
watch it.
it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I have no intentions. Isn't that fucking the Batfleck?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't do that.
And
I cannot do that.
It's the most failure.
I sat
of-
through Val Kilmer as Batman,
understanding.
and I still...
Val Kilmer was better.
Clooney?
Clooney was better.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, like all Batfleck really does.
Can we
is
rank
be
Batman?
grim. Yes.
Brent, we're gonna rank Batman. You should probably get in here. Who's been the latest one?
The latest is still Batfleck technically,
Okay.
because they have said that he's not going to take part, but they haven't announced who is. Oh wait, no, hold on. They may have announced that it's Armie Hammer. He was in the Man from Uncle. He was the Lone Ranger. That's about it. In
Yeah.
terms of, yeah. He looks like a superhero. Like
Okay.
actually, he should be Superman because
Okay.
he looks like Superman. Anyway, ranking Batman.
Ranking Batman.
Ranking Batman.
Haven't seen the Batfleck, but I can't imagine it being good.
It's
That-
grim.
I can
How
never
bad are
go
we
from
talking?
top to bottom. I have to go from bottom to top because like
It's a bit personal for this podcast.
Where does Val fall?
That's
for
where I
everyone?
started with. Val Kilmer's
Well,
definitely
that's
got
the
to be
thing.
a solid
He seems
middle.
to be the middle of everyone.
He
and
brought
I'm
a
going to
really
agree.
good Robin.
Who? Oh,
Val.
what?
What?
He wasn't.
Is
Oh,
he?
you mean he had like a?
Like his Robin.
It's the only role Chris O'Donnell was ever any good in.
No.
No,
Was he
Yeah.
no,
one
that
Robin for
and
two Batmans?
Scent of a Woman.
Yeah, he was. Oh, and Sento.
Yeah, I'll give him those two.
You know what? I've
Everything else
ranked
is
Robin
hot trash.
higher than
I'll give him
Batman.
those two.
Oh,
I
What?
rank Robin higher than
As a
Batman.
character?
No, like throughout all of the shows, they had the same Robin for 2 Batman. I rank him higher.
Because he was there for 2?
He
A bunch of them were there for 2 as
and
Batman.
the movie was Batman.
No, he gets no ranking anywhere. No,
it was
he
because
gets eye candy at
And
the
he
time.
can do laundry pretty sexy.
That's what he gets.
That was kind of
Like,
entertaining.
Sorry. Not sorry.
Ridiculous.
That's fine. Ridiculous. Yes.
Top 10 sexiest Alfreds. Go.
Michael Caine always.
Like, okay.
Done.
There's no love for the guy from the 90s? All scraggly and like
Goff,
friendly?
go, something. That's his last name. Yeah. Oh my God, like the walking corpse.
I'm not saying he's my vote. My vote would go towards Pertwee. Wait, no. Yeah, it's Pertwee. Pertwee's the current Alfred on Gotham, which ends tomorrow.
Haven't seen it.
Oh.
Well, watched
Oh.
an episode or 2, hated it.
Yes. No, that's the thing. It's a hate watch, and then you
Yeah.
start building its like soap opera-y levels of canon, and so you get to a point where you're like, it's ridiculous. They're going to literally blow up the city and everyone in it, and I'm here to watch these people die.
When it ends, and when it shows up on Netflix and it tells me to binge through it, I will.
It's
But
on
until then-
Netflix. It ends tomorrow.
Is it up to current on Netflix?
It will be within like a month,
Well, that's enough time to catch up.
but there's like 5 or 6 seasons, so yeah.
That's almost enough time. Who am I kidding? That's more than enough time to catch up. What am I doing?
Anyway, ranking the Batmans. So we know that Val Kilmer's in the middle of the Kinsey scale, no matter what.
How high is Adam West?
I am going to put Adam first. He's the most important. He is the Batman.
He's the most important, but
He's an
in terms
establishment
of
of the
portrayal as well,
character.
I think he deserves one demotion.
Oh no, I will go full on geek because in the 50s and the 60s, the era actually right up until they sold the show rights, that was Batman.
I know.
That was perfect. And it shows the potential for the character.
And it was
whereas
counterculture.
Exactly. It was not only counterculture. It was created in the Playboy penthouse. Like, not the offices of Playboy penthouse. There used to be a penthouse where they filmed a show called Playboy's Penthouse, and it would just be like Hugh Hefner hanging around with the Rat Pack for half an hour, and they'd film it. And they'd be like, hey Frank, why don't you sing a song? And he'd sing a fucking song, and they'd drink and make a couple of jokes, and Arthur Miller would come by. And this is where
So they were podcasting, essentially.
Yeah, and it was during one of these parties that Batman 66 was created.
That's amazing.
And that's why it's amazing, because if you understand that context, it's fucking
But
insane.
do we really want to put Adam West number 1? I
Yeah.
mean, don't get me wrong, I love him, and he's amazing, and I'm not critiquing his portrayal of Batman in any way. I'm just saying the Batman that I love is such a fun,
I'm
dark
speaking just
character.
personally. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking, we're talking best portrayal of Batman. It's Adam
Okay,
West.
best
Adam West
portrayal
is
of Batman.
really-
I would say, who was the voice of the animated series?
That's who I would say. Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy.
Conroy or
Like,
Conroy?
Conroy. Yeah.
I would put
Because to
him
me,
number 1.
that shuddered fear into
I
me
would put
as a
number
child.
1. Yep.
Of like, oh,
Adam West
you are the
number
dark.
2.
Like,
Yeah.
Exactly. Adam West number 2, but no, I'm sorry, you inspired
For
a ton of
voice,
following.
Absolutely. Due to his appearance, he can never be Batman in appearance, and we need
That doesn't
both.
matter.
No, we need both.
No.
This is a
No.
Then
We're talking portrayal of Batman, and
Oh,
in
yeah.
this case,
Where-
that includes
where
an
do you
animated
feel-
facade.
Where do you feel Dietrich Bader lands then?
Who? What?
Dietrich Bader. Bader.
Batman Beyond?
No, the guy he was in. It was simply called The Batman. But if you remember the UPS worker character friend from the Drew Carey Show,
Yes.
that guy's a Batman.
I knew that. What the fuck was his name on that show?
Dietrich Bader.
No.
Oh no, his actual character name.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It was so pointless. It was like
Yeah, I know exactly
like
who you mean,
Carl
though.
or something like that.
No, he had a weird name. Oswald.
Oswald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm down with that. That's fine. He can be in the rankings. He won't be high up because I don't know him, but...
He does his voice actually works really well.
See, that's the thing. He's got an
Gravity.
iconic voice. I could.
Well, and if you put the cowl over top, I can see him kind of having the,
Yeah.
like...
But Kevin
like-
Conroy gets number 1 for me.
That's fair.
But the
in terms of
animation to go
voice.
with him, no, this is the thing.
Voice.
No, but it's the portrayal. So the animation that goes with it, that period look of the animated series plus that voice,
so
that's fucking the tits Batman. That's my number one Batman.
Kevin Conroy Arkham Asylum series.
The Dick Tracy years.
No, Kevin Conroy, like, animated Batman
You're talking
animated
the
series.
Dick Tracy years.
Yeah, the Paul Dini produced
Yes,
Art Deco.
yes.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay.
I think that's fair.
And it has some of the best
Because
villains,
I think,
too,
you know...
because it has Clayface. It has Clayface in, like, the... like, is it a bodybuilder or something? Or, like the character of the Clayface is, like,
he's basically, like, massaging steroids and cream into his muscles, and he basically turns himself into a giant blob. Yeah, he's great.
But it's dark.
But I'm just thinking, like, Clooney, I'm sure one of us at some point is going to dock him points even for humor for having bat nipples. And, like, that's not...
That was bad.
That's a directorial choice, an appearance choice, just like the animations are on the animated series. So, no, I'm saying that counts as a full portrayal.
What is worse, bat nipples or bat codpiece?
Well, okay, you're asking two gay men which is worse out of those two things.
I don't
But
mind
in
either
terms
of them
of-
when done well.
I'm
Yes.
asking, which is a worse style decision to run with? Do you go with the blatant codpiece on armor, or...
bad.
Yeah, so bad. Or do you go with the Grecian remake of the chest?
No, there's no excuse for nipples on the batsuit. That's fucked.
Even though it's Grecian?
There's no excuse for nipples on the batsuit.
Aerodynamics
That's
helps.
fucked.
Aerodynamics.
That's fucked. That's so
It would
weird.
tell us that it may not benefit.
That is not a superhero outfit. That is fetish wear. Like, what possible...
It was always fetish
What
wear.
Yes, of course, but at least...
Superheroes.
He wasn't so on the nose about
I'm
it.
saving crime in tights.
Yes, no, Catwoman Michelle Pfeiffer wasn't on the nose about anything.
Wasn't as on the nose as fucking bat nipples.
Bullshit, she had a whip.
Yeah.
Still just a shade less obnoxious than bat nipples.
In fact, I'm willing to say that Catwoman, as portrayed even in the 60s, was still very straightforward, just like, here's bad sex that people don't want you to have.
I'm not going to hear anyone besmirch Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman in this house. That's not going to happen.
I'm not besmirching her.
Good.
It's just that...
I'm aware of what it is. I am. But I'm still saying it's just not quite as egregious as bat nipples. There's no excuse for that.
I have to admit, I haven't.
She has a
I
whip
haven't
that she
seen
uses
Batman
to behead
Affleck.
mannequins and attack people, for Christ's sakes, and save herself. She does all kinds of useful things with the whip. What the fuck does he do with the bat nipples?
Distract his enemies, obviously.
Well, obviously, Jesus, he's distracting everyone.
What were you saying?
I have to admit, I have never seen the Affleck version of Batman.
Oh, I haven't
There's
seen
the
the
funny
Batfleck
thing.
either.
There's two
Does it matter?
versions. Yes. There's two versions of the Affleck Batman.
Explain.
Alright, so the first version is the way that Zack Snyder portrayed him. Very dark, very brutal, branding criminals with a red-hot bat brand to get them murdered in prison.
What?
Yeah, he shoots people to death. He runs them down with his car. He's psychotic.
That's
doesn't
not
have a gun.
fucking Batman.
Yes, he does. He does when Zack Snyder's making them.
That's ridiculous.
This-
I do not
Batman
approve.
doesn't have a
I
gun.
do not approve.
He has
That goes
multiple guns.
That goes into the final position for
he
me.
blows
Below bat
He
nipples.
blows up a supervillain by shooting his flamethrower. Like, he had a flamethrower backpack, the supervillain. And Batman's got a bar. A bar is one of those stationary guns that you set up in combat, and you need someone to feed you bullets on a belt. So he's one-handing this thing, and he shoots the guy in the... and the guy's holding Martha Kent hostage in his arm. And so Batman shoots the gas tank, grabs Martha, puts her under like his apparently completely fireproof and pressure and temperature proof cape, and the buddy explodes to death. And so yeah, no, he believes in murder, specifically of Superman, because he's a threat.
I am not down for
Batman
this.
has killed people. I think that is
That's
fair.
it happens sometimes in his line of work, but he's not going around shooting people.
That's Batman, Batfleck 1.
Ugh.
Because of that.
Last ranking.
Because of everything that I just said.
He doesn't get on the fucking list.
You end up with Batfleck 2, who's written by Joss Whedon. So
that's got to be a transition.
Yeah, you take that character with already like plot points and lines written with that original darkness intended, and you hand it to Joss Whedon because they fired Zack Snyder because he was doing that. And Whedon goes, "Fuck!" and writes essentially Batman becomes the dry, comedic, reflection of the Justice League. He's an old man who's just like, all the time.
That sounds awful as well.
Those are the two Batflecks.
Like an aged version of Deadpool.
Not even.
Oh.
No, that
a
sounds
much
cool.
slower.
That sounds
okay. So do we have our bottom two slots then?
Yep.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's good because we haven't seen it, but we already rejected it on principle because it's the Batfleck. So no. So okay, I'm glad that's in the bottom.
Right.
So all right. So at the moment we have, let's say, a contested top spot for Kevin Conroy and Adam West.
Yeah, but that's a different kind of contest because I'm not willing to fight one or the other in that kind of ephemera. That is a pantheon. That's
all right. So what you're saying is that it's Kevin Conroy and then Adam West.
No, I'm saying that is a dual religion. Don't fuck with me.
So I'm saying it's Kevin Conroy and then his son
Jihad,
who is also
Jihad.
That's gonna get us some attention in the audience. That's good.
But here's
fine. But okay, so they're both very high up there. But who's next?
And we know in the middle is Val Kilmer.
Middle is Val Kilmer.
So the bottom of it, I'm going to say that between Kilmer and Affleck is Clooney.
Yes. You agreed?
Who was the one with Keating?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
So
that
that
was
was
put higher.
Well, yeah, he's not going. No, we're talking the bottom. This is between the bare bones bottom that is Batfleck and Val Kilmer.
In the middle.
I would say Clooney was worse than Kilmer.
Clooney was dealing with like 5 villains that were like exponentially worse. So like he actually held up a fair amount of the movie.
Who was Clooney's? Was that the Riddler?
Yeah, Riddler.
No, that was
and
like
Two-Face.
Ivy.
Yeah,
no. Ivy and Mr. Freeze.
Carrey and Jim Carrey and
yeah, it was Jim Carrey and
Tommy Lee
Jones.
Yeah, I would put him higher.
They're definitely more dangerous.
You
villains.
put Clooney higher than Kilmer?
I think so.
Okay, I definitely wouldn't out of Sex.
I like Kilmer
also
more,
other
but I
reasons.
think as like a Batman role, his was actually a little bit.
Clooney was just too relaxed, too chill, and then too like borderline campy for my taste. Just no.
There is an in-story reason for that, though. See, that characterization of Batman Bruce Wayne was actually written for Val Kilmer, because in Val Kilmer's movie, he has growth. Dr. Chase Meridian, as played by
Kidman.
Oh my God, thank you. I forgot her name, and I love her, and that's weird. Nicole Kidman actually treats and saves Batman. He is no longer suffering from PTSD at the end of that movie. And so George Clooney's character is upbeat because he no longer is essentially suffering.
But there's no
Batman.
reference to Chase Meridian because there's no actual Kilmer in this one. That's
exactly.
Terrible.
So like it seems like a sudden shift, but it actually is a like it's bullshit. You don't just get over PTSD to the point that you...
Well, that's the thing is they often excuse like boring ass character changes like that too. It's like, oh well, you're cured now. It's like, well, okay, so they cured you of a personality. Like, no, I would.
Yeah,
I would disagree. We'll have another nebulous bottom one there.
Yeah. I just find the one film with all of the crazy villains, like the horrible villains.
Which one was that you're talking about?
The Poison Ivy and Freeze and...
That's the Kilmer one.
Yeah.
No. Poison Ivy and Freeze is the Clooney one. That's Batman and Robin.
Okay.
But those are the only 2 villains that are in it.
Which one am I thinking then?
I think you may be thinking of like an animated one or not. Because Batman Batman 1 in 1989 was the Joker. Batman Returns was Catwoman and Penguin.
And Max Schreck.
Fucking
Max Schreck. Max Schreck, what? He was great.
Max Schreck doesn't exist. It's just what happens when Christopher Walken wanders into a fucking production.
And it worked. It was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, it's true. Batman Forever was the Riddler and Two-Face, and Batman and Robin was Mr. Freeze and Ivy and Bane. Bane is also in it.
Joel Schumacher should end up at the bottom of this list.
Yeah,
God,
all of this,
those poor movies.
all of this is technically his fault.
Trash. Yep. Clooney and Kilmer. Maybe it's a tie for bad because of Joel Schumacher. Let's just take them both off the list and make Joel Schumacher just above the Batfleck.
Just the Schumacher zone.
Batfleck's just shooting
It's
people
like
still
a
going
plateau where like Clooney and
they're in the Schumacher
Kilmer
zone
are like
together.
they're just sitting there like, all right, we didn't do bad.
Yeah.
So who's
Like,
okay? So who's resting above
we
the
enter a
Schumacher
very
zone?
interesting question here because who do you think is better in their one-note portrayal of Batman? Christopher Christian Bale or Michael Keaton?
I would say Christian Bale in his consistent delivery of a character that I feel is not what Batman should be.
I would put Keaton just above, just because there are glimpses of personality to Keaton's
There's
portrayal.
certainly glimpses of madness in that one. Like, there are moments when...
Human madness.
There's glimpses of very distinct...
Like manic instability.
In Keaton's?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, for instance, there's a lot of small hints that he's on medication and things.
Okay.
But there's a moment when the Joker appears in his apartment, or not his apartment, in her name is... Anyway,
oh, come on.
so it's Kim Basinger.
Yeah.
But it's playing the character from the fucking comics. Anyway, she's a well-known...
She's a journalist.
Socialite.
Vicky Vale.
Vicky Vale. Yeah, so the Joker appears in Vicky Vale's apartment trying to woo her, and Bruce Wayne appears at the same time. And the Joker kind of like intimidates Wayne, and Wayne responds by grabbing a fire poker, smashing some shit on the hearth, and saying, "You want to get crazy? Let's get crazy," to the Joker. Why would billionaire Bruce Wayne suddenly
bizarre.
go nuts?
Yeah.
Michael Keaton has a subtle insanity that is just like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense for a man who would dress like a...
Well, he's very drawn to insanity when it comes to Catwoman, too.
Yeah.
Like, she's batshit nuts. That's a great scene, watching her lose her goddamn mind.
Yeah,
I love that.
She's so good.
So good. And he's clearly very into that. So, yeah, I can see that.
You can see the dance. You can see the dance between them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're coming at it from different sides and different things, but they are both...
And Bale and Hathaway didn't make sense, but they made sense.
Yeah.
They were two... I like to think of it, and I'm sure this is actually what Tim Burton was going at, they're two fetishists who discovered that they're both into the same thing. And now they're going to go...
by different roads.
Yeah, exactly.
By different roads, and they didn't know they would meet on this path. And they're like, oh,
how
that
cool
makes
is nice.
sense.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I'm actually pretty damn sure that's what Tim Burton meant.
I think Keaton
Well
gets...
done. Yeah.
I think right after that explanation, I'm very proud to add that one is my favorite of the movies. Batman
it's
Returns
the
is
universal
my favorite.
explanation for...
It's great, but that's why I'm putting Keaton right above Christian Bale.
Recent that was very
It's 'cause
good
Max
was
Shrek
the
is
Batman
amazing.
Lego.
Oh, yeah.
Batman
That was
Lego
great!
blew me away
That
because
was
it's amazing.
hilarious.
It's amazing.
it was so fun.
So
Yeah.
fucking funny.
And that's Will Arnett.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Will Arnett, that's
Has
right.
the perfect
It's a surprisingly good voice
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
And his attitude was just so...
Can I... controversy.
Mm.
I kind of want to put him in either right above or right after Keaton. That was fucking great.
No, that's where I'd put him.
Right after Keaton.
After Keaton. He's above Bale, but...
Above Bale, but after Keaton.
Yeah, his
I have to
meaning is
give
different.
Bale props for showing a different side of Batman that was not character driven or drama based, and was very I'm into this character to a point that he's a bit crazy and also may have caused Heath Ledger to go crazy as well. Just saying.
He was...
there's
He's a good Batman for a movie where you're not actually paying attention to Batman. I'm
That's
not
what I was
looking at
thinking.
him. I'm looking at the villains.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the city.
Not only that, but he was kind of a better Bruce Wayne than he was Batman. He was
Yeah.
more interesting when he wasn't in costume.
Well, yeah,
I
because
don't
then he
remember
actually
him
had
at
to,
all when he was in
act.
costume.
Yeah.
I just don't. I remember the annoying voice, and everything was always very dark and fluttery. And I get that that's what they're going for. He's more of a force of nature, and
But when you see,
okay, but I'm not.
Bruce Wayne.
I'm not the
around.
one being attacked by Batman. I'm the one in the audience paying to watch Batman attack people. Why can't I barely see him? Again, director's choice, but I think that
Yeah.
we can't give Will Arnett all credit for how awesome and fun that movie was. So I know we're all just confusing so hard.
I'm trying to listen to both and give you appropriate answers. Camp, yes. Good use, yes.
I've forgotten already, so that's good.
So if I just remembered my response.
If we want to talk superhero fetishy get-ups, though, let's go into full costume and talk about drag for a moment here.
Yeah, especially since we're approaching an hour.
Well, oh my god. And we wanted to... This was supposed to be a mini.
This was supposed to be, yeah.
That's great.
Oh, well.
But we wanted to talk about Brooklyn Heights because I was yelling in The Industry's Doom?
Yes, I think.
I think so. That she has an American name, which I found frustrating, but otherwise is a great contestant. So she's fucking... fashionable as shit.
Yeah.
Like, her looks are always fucking amazing. She's blown everyone away.
Ballerina.
She's
oh.
yep. She's,
oh yes, yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah.
Yep, she's blown everyone away in a few different challenges, but also mainly in runway.
Okay, sorry.
Stole the show in Snatch Game.
Walked out in full mummy attire
Or not Snatch
on
Game, sorry.
point.
Yeah.
With everything tied up on
my God.
like a mummy doing
Stole
ballet.
the show
And I
in
was like,
Untucked and became a meme instantly. Instantly, it's just her making camp, like,
the
Jim from The
faces?
Office faces.
Yeah.
It's amazing. While drinking, it's great. And then fucking bombed the Snatch Game so hard.
as Celine Dion.
As Celine Dion.
Oh.
Just, like, I left the room. I left the room 2 or 3 times.
Left the
And
room.
I couldn't. It was too embarrassing. I was
Oh
like,
my God.
I couldn't. And I still
And
have
then we
incredibly
walk back
high
in-
hopes
in-
for her. I still think she can win. But man, she cannot improv. And I'm not an improv person either, so
It's
I get
hard.
it. Oh yeah, I
It's
wouldn't
fucking
wish
difficult.
improv on my worst enemy. But like, and I wouldn't wish it on Brooklyn Heights again either. As a scripted comic, I think she could do it. At a roast, I think she could do it. Maybe at a roast.
I think putting her as a character is hard because that's a very personal thing to her. I would think like to be like change your character, like to pull her away from
See,
so centered in who she is. Like
Okay, so
Yeah.
having to try to think like, okay, how would
It's true, she certainly didn't
she's
embody
not
Celine
goofy
Dion.
in that way.
Yeah.
Like it's not in the
Maybe she
person's
can't-
character.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
can't relax and get out of herself enough to do that.
Not
perhaps,
easily.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's tough, sure, but man, yeah, no, she certainly didn't embody Celine Dion in, like, any way, shape, or form. It was bad. It was so bad.
Had a backwards tuxedo,
Yeah, and otherwise just...
and I was like, okay, better than other characters playing the same person.
She saved her bacon so hard by showing up on the runway and doing a wig and costume reveal simultaneously, and then just, like, slaying the lip sync challenge. It was really well done. It was very impressive. She has represented Canada tremendously.
So
Like,
of
she's
course
been...
she'll lose.
She's
because,
been a queen to watch. No, she might actually win.
Well, that'd be good.
It wouldn't surprise me, even despite this terrible performance.
And also, it had probably, for me, one of the best lip sync battles between two characters with so much skill and passion that it was just like, you're sitting there and like, who are you
Two
going
of the
to
main
send
ones
home?
we're both rooting for, too.
Why? Like,
Yeah.
this is, it was the best TV point in a show where you're like,
It was possibly the best episode of RuPaul I've seen.
Wow. And there've been at this point like 10 plus seasons of like including everything.
It was
Wow.
fantastic. It was that good. Like, just because it
And
was
one take
fantastic
as
in
well.
the way where you want it to be. We're two contestants that you've been rooting for all season. Both stumble. Both, like, end up saving it tremendously through, like, sheer effort. And it's all about the competition. It's not about, like, oh, the tears and the
At the
band on
very-
the bus stop and, like, this and that and everything else. Like,
at the very end, the two basically run and hug each other because they were just like, we just experienced this stage together
It's like,
and didn't even realize the both of us were here.
yeah,
Like-
it was amazing. Highly recommend. If you're going to watch RuPaul for the first time, start with that. Holy shit.
Start with that because
Yeah.
the rest of it's all
It's all downhill from here.
until you start watching season
Downhill
1 and
up.
2. Was it that you're just like,
You
oh look,
can't watch
that's
season
it.
1. You cannot watch season 1.
It's held
Season
together
1 is
by wishes.
unwatchable. It
Not
wishes
anymore.
and Vaseline filters.
No,
just
those wishes have crumbled.
Yeah.
Like, there's just like,
No.
you remember Polaroids that go bad?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
It's there.
Yes.
Like, it's like, just let it go.
They all
Yeah, nobody's
kind of
watched.
look- yeah.
Nobody's watched season 1 in so long. Like, the VHS tapes have degraded. That's all it's on.
Season 1 for
Nobody's
some
played it.
reason
Yeah.
it just gives you the sense of going into a room that smells like cigarettes. You
Yeah.
don't smell that as much anymore.
Well, it looks like it was shot in the back of a convenience store. That's why.
It
Like,
was.
Oh, it's so.
It
low budget.
essentially
It's
was.
spectacular.
you can hear the till sometimes.
You can.
It's
so
probably
low
RuPaul's
budget.
garage. Like,
I mean, you know,
she probably has a big garage at that
that's
point.
the thing. I'm sure she has like a California style McMansion. Like at her amount of money, even then, she could have gotten something that we'd be like, oh my god, it's a mansion. And Californians are just like, it's a house.
Probably true, although season 1 would not lead you to believe quite that just yet. Oof. Season 2? Sure. Absolutely. Even though it's terrible because the winner's an atrocious person.
Yeah. Season 3 is where it actually started.
Season 3 and everything after that is fantastic. But this was, I think, the best episode, the best actually just regular competition episode.
Nice.
Not a giant finale or anything, but yeah, fantastic.
Yeah,
So
and one of the characters, Evie Oddly, she is an interesting and different character.
Oh yeah.
Like, she's
Her drag's very fun.
so forward.
Very fun.
That, like, she causes shit all the time because she's just like, you just lied about this and this. Why?
Oh, not like that other one.
As they're saying it. So, like, she listens very intently and, like, responds with something
Not
just
like
being...
Russia.
No.
No, you were saying, going on to people about lying and things. They had an episode of Untucked where everyone just got way too into it. It was, like, the most emotional, not most emotional, most, like, outraged episode of Untucked ever.
Just everyone.
That was the one where Brooklyn Heights buried herself in a pillow fort to steal
okay, because like
all the attention. It was great.
I saw the greater contextual clip of why she was making those faces, and it seemed to just be like,
just shouting.
You've all been locked in a room for a month.
Yeah,
and now
there are some
here
real personalities, like every season, but this season in particular seems to have a lot of personalities.
Well, you also have the pit bull of Vanjie.
Oh,
Because she just walks, I'm like,
yeah.
Did you say hello?
She
Hi,
talks
how
like
are
she
you?
yells, and she yells like she talks.
What are the words that
and
are coming
she,
out of
on
your
the
mouth?
show at least, is dating Brooklyn Heights, or like kind of like having a little mini relationship on the show right now with Brooklyn Heights.
Fuck.
No one really knows if it's still ongoing now or not, but
it's like hilarious. A poodle husky mix.
It's adorable, yeah.
Poodle husky.
Because yeah, Brooklyn
Heights
like
a pit bull just being like
tall and gorgeous, and Vanjie's like tiny and hysterical and gorgeous, but.
And also she also has a very large dog tattoo on her chest here.
Sure does.
Huh.
That's why I
like a pit bull.
Yeah. It's
that
not a pit bull. What is it? It's
oh, she's definitely a fucking pit bull.
Is it a Chihuahua?
No, I don't know what it is.
French bulldog?
Nah, I don't know.
It's an interesting dog face on her chest.
It's definitely that.
Dope.
Yeah. No, it's definitely worth a watch. Who the fuck were the guest stars? They were great.
Arrested Development.
Yes, Buster Bluth.
Yeah,
random. Oh, I've heard he's into it.
He was so chill during Snatch Game, like almost like no personality chill, and then on the judging panel, he was fantastic.
Weird.
Joel McHale guest starred, and almost like caused violence. Like
he'll do. I love Joel McHale because he really is an actual real world shit disturber.
He's a fucking instigator.
Yeah. Have you ever watched The Super?
I've tried. I can't tolerate it.
I love it. Like I don't really go in for trash gossip like celebrity culture, except The Soup. I will watch that forever. I will binge watch it. We've got a Miley segment coming up. Fuck yeah! It's Miley.
Can't do it.
Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, they essentially anytime Miley did something for like 3 years straight, they were like full fucking segment intro. Hey, it's Miley. Oh my god, what's Miley doing? And it was like they just over-reported on everything Miley Cyrus,
That's
intentionally.
It's hilarious. No, yeah. I don't think I've seen Michelle Visage lose her cool with anyone ever on the show until he was on there, and she was just like straight up into unprofessional borderline territory.
Yeah, she not only wanted to see your manager. She not only wanted to see your manager. She's had an interview and is your manager.
Oh yeah,
you
just
should
so
go
she
home.
can fire you. Yeah,
like
it was great. She was so clearly just like out of patience immediately. It was priceless.
Or like a mom in a grocery store. Just like the
parking lot moms.
I don't remember who the woman was on that episode.
No, it was like focused over here because it was like there was like
so much going on.
Oh my god! Somebody like turned the table up.
It may as well have been the character from 22 Minutes where you're like,
oh god,
wait, did she have lines?
Yeah, right. That was bad.
Who was that?
I loved that. It's the first 22 minutes thing I found funny in like forever, and then the last like 4 to 5 seconds of it are just utter garbage.
It collapses back.
It's
into
just like
22
the bit players
minutes.
are like, we're here too, and it's like, you just took me out of the fantasy. No.
There's no attention on Mark Critch for too long. Mark Critch demands attention.
Terrible. Is that who that was?
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy that part. Everything else about it was priceless. Have we done it? Have we ate pop culture for this episode? At an hour and 4 minutes?
I guess just because of what it is, Game of Thrones thoughts.
Oh, we really can't ignore that. It's fantastic.
The episode of Looks that is just like everybody just being like, bitch.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you. How long has it been since I've seen you?
If we're gonna talk about Game of Thrones like that, we should probably talk about Game of Thrones. I don't even think we should recap Game of Thrones at all, ever. We should just direct people towards...
a recast.
We should just direct people to watch
So
Game
what
of Thrones.
nickname can we give Jonathan?
What's
Because
that?
he needs... he gives great nicknames.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm saying we won't even review Game of Thrones.
Oh, just simply
That's
say,
all we need. It's
go
like,
watch
it's been done.
Game
We
of
don't need to
Thrones.
talk about Game of Thrones on this show. What are we going to add about Game of Thrones? I've never seen a show so overanalyzed. I watched one episode of Game of Thrones, and then like all of YouTube was like, here's like an overanalysis of everything to do with the latest episode within like 30 minutes of it airing. Like, it's intense.
And that's just the TV show, which is a incredibly bare bones version of the book.
Oh, I know.
Oh, them books.
I don't like to think about the books. I loved the books, and then one didn't come out, and then it didn't come out, and then a lifetime went by, and the book still didn't come out.
It still hasn't.
And then I heard a prequel was coming out, and I was just like, just fuck yourself.
2 prequels came out. A Night of the Seven
I don't
Kingdoms,
care. I'm so mad.
and then one about the Targaryen histories, which is part 1. So actually there's 3 coming out, because part
Fuck
2
off.
of the Targaryen
Finish
histories...
the books! Christ. Ugh.
I just want...
Do
some
they not know
writers should
how?
be told pencils down.
Yeah, well, no,
Like...
it's apparently is a problem of, like, he's created such a complicated world that he spends most of his time now just checking shit instead of writing, because he has to make sure that he doesn't contradict himself.
Can't you have a team of writers or a team of researchers for that
He
shit?
specifically has 2 people who are incredibly obsessive about it. It's just, there's still so much. It actually takes more than a team to make sure that everything is still in line.
Make it
with
a university
everything.
course. Actually give people credit for it.
It may actually become that.
Why not?
That's hilarious.
There's a local university that I think he's outside Phoenix or Santa Fe.
Give the university a bit of the publishing rights as well, just to be like, hey, guess.
Oh no!
Or
That's
no, but
locked.
like a byline to say like, oh, thank you, the university.
Oh yeah,
for
that I'm sure that whatever
fact
that
checking
is
my made up world.
Yeah, I'm sure that that's in the process, because I think that originally his fact checkers kind of came to him through an English lit course. I know that they tracked him down and met because they actually found his house. He still lives in the same house he always did, and it's on Google Earth. He has his address and phone number listed.
That's terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Good lord.
Yeah. You can just
Has he not read his books? Does he not know how terrible people can be?
You can just go up and ring his doorbell.
He probably hasn't read them. If he has read them, he'd want them finished too. He'd be like, my god, I need to know what happens next. I should get on writing that shit.
Really should keep writing that shit.
Christ, don't say I'll get on writing it, George.
Right, George, right.
We're gonna have to find out the ending through the show first, and that's so frustrating. I wanted to read it first.
I think the ending of the show is not connected to the ending of the book whatsoever. There's so many things that are unrelated and whatnot. I think
that are unrelated.
Yeah. I think that yes, there'll be a battle at Winterfell against the Night, but this is 5% of what has actually... It's so distilled and distilled and distilled and distilled.
I know, but it's going to take so many lifetimes to come out. We'll be reading it when we're dead.
Yeah, at least it's something to look forward to, maybe. If it happens.
In the home.
Eventually.
Once George Robot Martin has finished writing it.
Robot. You were going to say something? Okay.
Good day on George Robot Martin. Alright.
Beep, boop, dragons, goodbye. Dog. Yes, hello. Welcome to Please Won't You Shut Up? Shut up, dog. Shut up!
She's been so quiet.
I know. She's
This episode. Although it just started.
It's true. I am Mikki.
I'm Blake.
And I am Brent.
Puppy.
You old puppy.
Okay, down. We're recording.
And welcome to the show that is mostly about Star Trek and drag queens.
Yay!
Since you finally saw, we'll get to
I like
these
that we're
in
just
order.
going to get into it right
we're just going to get to it because I know you want to really talk about drag queens, but first comes Star Trek, then drag queens.
No, I have a lot of feelings on Star Trek.
So yeah, you finally saw the series season finale.
Season finale, yeah.
Thoughts?
Oh, so many. Okay, so first of all, giant Star Trek person. Like Star Trek, all the Star Trek, all the time. Love it. We've gone on before about how I just want to go forward and know what happens next. That I'm so sick of all this like constant like redoing the same time periods.
To a prequel.
So I know. So I'm getting that in a way, which is great. Uncharted territory is always fun. Not having to like worry about all the canon shit anymore. Like you're post canon. You're the new frontier.
You can do lots.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
But mainly, I found season 2 did two things for me. It endeared the main core of characters that went to the future. Spoiler alert. But, you know, they're going 950 years into the future now. If you haven't seen it, you shouldn't be listening to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on the internet and you haven't seen the season finale of Discovery, like, fuck off. Go do that right now.
Why are you listening to a Star Trek
It's not
podcast?
the morning after Game of Thrones. Like, come on. Like, no, just...
Even if it's the morning after Game of Thrones, all bets are off.
Unfortunately. But that one I'm more sensitive to.
Exactly. You have to
I am more sensitive to that, though, sure. But no, so I'm very excited that they're going into the future and that this core group of characters are, because this season made me enjoy this core group of characters a lot more and enjoy seeing them riff off each other a lot, and that's always been the core of Star Trek to me. And they haven't had that.
Yeah.
It's been like Michael Burnham, who you still barely know but seems to do everything twice, is now doing this shit. And also, like, Sarek's, I don't know, her dad, and also twin and mentor and space thing, and like, alright, fine. But now you're getting a bit more of the rest of them.
It's the truest form of going to a place that they have never been ever before. Like,
it's
the furthest... Yeah. It's further than Q pushing you really far away.
And this is why...
Like, it's just... out of your concept.
And this is why I'm happy about that. Cleaning up all the extraneous nonsense at the outskirts. Because the other thing this season did was confuse me. I don't remember a lot of the plot points. I just generally got kind of lost. And that doesn't usually happen to me with Trek.
And like, I think it was because Star Trek has never done before a long-term, like, quest storyline, and that's what they were doing. Like they're
which I was
questing.
super down for.
Yeah,
I was, but also like I didn't care enough about the places and people and shit yet. Like
it was almost like a Star Wars-y kind of thing where, like, aside from the time travel, which apparently is now in Star Wars AOA, it's like it's taking a fantasy element and putting it in a sci-fi element, and that usually doesn't work.
What, time travel?
No, the quest.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think having a quest is necessarily has to be particular to fantasy.
The segment of it. It was like having a Red Angel and having to go to different areas and like solve that's so Arthurian.
I was fine with all that, but on some level, I still didn't really care.
Oh, yeah.
Like I just didn't engage with the show.
Okay.
Like the people hadn't got me yet, and I.